Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
Welcome to the next edition of MTP. It's basketball season, so you know it's a great time to be alive. Your Boston Celtics are back, so you know I got my man talk with me, my guy DK Sizzles in the building. So man, how you doing, man? How you feeling tonight?
I'm doing good. We actually accidentally did like a non-recorded podcast for 20 minutes about wrestling before we started this.
Absolutely.
But it's good to. It's sometimes podcasts break out around here. That's sort of how we do things. I'm feeling great. I am about to say nothing but positive things about the Boston Celtics. that's
yeah. No,
I
think that's what is in order. So before we get into that, if this is your first time listening to us, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Once again, you can find us on YouTube, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you can find your podcast. So make sure that you check us out. We just did one on the power ranking for week 7, so make sure that you check that out because that was a good one. So yeah, so without further ado, listen, Celtics are back, baby, and they're back big. They won 132-109. I'm not sure it was that close. I think once again it was unreal. They tie an NBA record with 29 threes. So just just looking at that game overall, just what was the biggest takeaway from the opening season opener win? Excuse me.
Well, I guess the biggest thing for me, just narratively speaking, was I hadn't formally decided what I wanted to see out of them going into the game. The way that I was intellectualizing it going in, I was actually thinking more about the Knicks. And I think that's probably because they made this big blockbuster trade, shipping out Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo and getting back a guy who a lot of people put in a lot of top 5 lists in different categories at the center position. A guy that essentially, it seems to me, I don't know if anyone said this out loud, but it seems to me a guy that you're bringing in to make your team look like a team that can beat the Celtics. Right. So that narrative obviously popped up coming in, and I couldn't think of a worse way for that game to go for the New York Knicks if you're building a team to beat the Celtics, and we Porzingis-less beat you handily. I think it was a statement game from Boston, and I am so excited to see the size of the chips on the shoulders of Brown and Tatum, because I think, and I would love to feed into this narrative, I think that they feel slighted from the Team USA antics. Jaylen winning Finals MVP, not making the team. Jayson making the team, being benched because his shooting was poor.
Yeah.
I think they have chips on their shoulders. I think they're pissed. And I think they're playing like 2 guys that just won a championship. I think there was a certain level of swag I hadn't seen before that I saw last night. It's an intangible. It's hard to describe, but it seems like you know what I'm talking about. So I'm fucking great.
We've seen it happen, when the Celtics won in 08, right? And obviously we didn't look at it as intricate, as intensely as we probably do now.
There was something nice about seeing that core group of guys yesterday at the banner raised too, right? Sort of come in and be like, all right, guys, like, here, we're handing you our respect.
Starting Woozy, it's weird because I don't think anyone from the 70s and 80 teams came. I know some guys aren't necessarily alive either, but Eddie McCool
they're getting up there.
Yeah, Eddie McCool. Yeah, but I mean, no one's older than Cousy. So if he could pop up, the rest of us could pop up too. So I was just like, hold on, my man came in a wheelchair. It was just like, put the one in the, so that was awesome to see.
He was always all grit though, Yeah. It was always all grit to the end, so you got to respect that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So it was cool to see that. It was cool to see Mikal and Parrish and Yeah, I think Dave counts as a lot. So he'd have been someone from the '70s. But either way, let's say the legends were in the building, and it was a great way to celebrate past, present, and hopefully the future. So,
Those fits were
um,
fresh as fuck too. The
yeah,
the
yeah,
all white ones
agreed.
with the gold trim. Oh my god, they were looking the part. And
Yeah,
those
yeah,
rings.
amazing.
It's weird. I mean, I feel like almost it hit me more that we won like yesterday than it
Yeah,
did at the end of the series when we just kind of swept Dallas because I'm not being arrogant. I am completely being arrogant. Actually, here when I say this, like when I started to like think about this as we were coming back, and I was like looking at the playoffs, I was like, we were
mhm,
emotionally invested. So like we're thinking about the things that they're not doing right. You know, we're worried about this stuff, worried about these matchups. They didn't really have a problem with winning that championship. Like there wasn't a ton of adversity, to be quite frank. And those legends in the building, that stripe they were wearing, the conversations they seem to be having, I don't know, they just looked the part, dude. You know what I mean? And I think they looked the part in the playoffs too, and it's like, "Ooh, we might be those guys."
yeah. I mean, and that should be one of the biggest takeaways, or like the biggest takeaway. What I noticed as well, the difference between the two teams is that you can see obviously the Celtics look like a team that had continuity, that had consistency, that had been through that journey last year. The Knicks looked like a bunch of misfit toys put together, right? And yes, Bridges, Hart, and Brunson played together in college. Once again, that was a long time ago for all three parties involved. You're trying to incorporate how cats are looking at the offense. So there's a lot of things that they have to figure out, which I firmly believe they're going to figure out. Right? Like I don't want to overact and act like the season's over just because of how they lost. 29 threes is not sustainable. It was dope to see, but it's not sustainable. But to me, we just saw a team that had been together, had won together, now trust each other with everything in a basketball sense, and just go out there and just say, hey, and to take a wrestling phrase from my guy MJF, I'm better than you, and you know it.
It's like,
Like, you know what
that
I'm
is
saying?
what
It's like
that is
it's
what
like
that game looked like, dude. That is what that game looked like. Like
yeah,
the Celtics decided that they were just kinda gonna go man to man with all their guys. Like, we didn't run like a super complicated which I liked, to be totally honest with you, to start out the season, sort of get into it, just sort of get a feel for it, like a lot of rhythm checks, a lot of heat checks, a lot, just make sure we're all still cooking, we're all still reading off the same hymn sheet. They know how to play basketball together, those guys. So, the amount of times Jason Tatum and we have been calling for this exact thing from Jason Tatum for
mhm,
season after season after season. The amount of times he was like, "Where's Mikal Bridges?" Like, he would, like, look up and he'd be like, "Where is he?" And he would get switched on him and he would cook him, like,
mhm,
cook him in a way that I haven't seen Tatum play like that. I've seen him do it, but not with that kind of venom, you know?
yeah,
It's why people kinda clown him with, like, being the Kobe guy and this, that, and the other. It's like, I've never seen that kind of Kobe, like, killer instinct from him.
yeah,
I'm not saying that in one game against the Knicks where he, like, shot well is that, but he did feel to me, he had the fresh cut, the confidence. He
mhm,
came in and he was like, "Where's that guy?" And he cooked him like a few times. And Jaylen Brown was doing the same shit. Like Jaylen Brown, every time Brunson got switched out in an off the ball play, Jaylen Brown was like, "I'm right here. I'm right
mhm,
here."
yep,
Like you were even saying, like Tatum was clocking up. He was probably at 32 or 33 by that point, and you were in the chat saying Jaylen Brown's playing out of his mind. So I agreed. All his off the ball work, like he was everywhere,
mhm,
and playing like a Finals MVP because he
right,
fucking
right,
is one.
yeah, yeah,
It's just like there you go. Like they believe that everything that they achieved was because they're sick. Thank
mhm.
God, because a lot of the internet doesn't. So
Yeah,
they
I mean,
figured that out.
it's we're getting back to, and thankfully it's a great place to be, but we're getting back to a place where, people are already starting to get Boston fatigue again,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
here
want
for it.
that. I want
I
that
want
for me.
that. I want that. So I'm here for it. But to
People
go
hate
for it.
Tatum specifically too. So if he could
Mhm,
like really just go bananas this year,
mhm,
then
right. Yeah, I mean that's what. Yeah, so I want to stay right there. So once again, he gets 37, 10 rebounds. I mean, I'm sorry, rebounds. 10 assists, four rebounds. He was 14 of 18 from the field, which is a little under 80%, and he was 8 of 11 from from three. So just obviously we've seen him score 30, and we've seen him score 40, 50. Hell, he even scored 60 in the game a few years back against San Antonio. So, but the key to me, and I know the key is to you because we talked about it before, was the playmaking. So him getting 10 assists was huge. So just, speak to how his playmaking abilities, improve things not only for him but the team as a whole.
Well, I think it's really indicative of how much of a unit they actually are, which I think really jumped off the screen yesterday. Like, I think that everybody really is operating on the same wavelength on that team. And with all the iterations of that team we've gone through, with basically the core pieces sort of being the same. If you think about the sort of emotional core and leadership core of that team now is Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford. And if it is those three guys, with obviously other veteran voices like in the mix, and it does feel like everybody's like on the same page, that feels to me like they've been building a culture since 2018. You know what I mean? Like those are the guys that have sort of been there for that. So
Well,
when I see Tatum letting the game come to him, play make, trust that the guys are going to be where they're going to be, and play hard. Don't get me wrong, but like Derek White's really good at this. Jayson Tatum, when he's playing like this, is really good at this, but letting the game come to you in a way where it's like, don't overcommit on a rebound. Just like try to read the rebound, man. We're really good. Like we're really long. If a guy tries to take you one on one, like don't let that happen. You don't have to switch your defense on for a game, Jayson. You have to switch your defense on contextually. So if someone tries to get him, he's got to get him back, or he's got to lock him up. And when he's making those decisions correctly, like the sort of dogged one-on-one decisions correctly,
mhm,
he plays at his best. And playmaking is a big part of that because what I think he does is he's such a rhythm player, right? It's
yeah,
both the problem that everyone has with him and like what makes him really good.
mhm,
What he's going to get better at and what he's already gotten better at is getting himself into that rhythm. And I think he finally understands that playmaking is the path to that because it is.
right,
It just is. Like if they start to come to you thinking that you're hurting them on this plane, on the eye plane and not the scoring plane,
mhm,
then they're going to exist down here. And then you get to fly up there unfettered, which is how he has a great Jayson Tatum game, right? He does both of them.
mhm.
And to your point, scoring on all levels. I will also say his 3-point shot looked really fucking ice cold. Like really, like I'm going up, I'm fucking putting that in. We all have had our issues with Tatum's shot selection at times and like streaks of cold volume shooting from three. I
Mhm.
don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw market percentage increases in his overall 3-point shooting this year, by just how he was shooting the ball.
Yeah, and so, the thing with him, and we've talked about this at nauseum, but we're gonna keep talking about it, is when he came so did he get the first shot of the game, comes off the high screen to the right-hand side, raises up, draws, and I'm like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "He's ready." And you always could tell with him early on when he's locked in. And what I appreciate about your favorite coach, Joe Mazzulla, what he did yesterday.
I'm coming around to that guy. I think he just might be a psycho.
Yeah, oh, big time, big time. But I
I'm into
appreciate
that.
what I appreciate about what he did yesterday, usually he would take Tatum out around the 7-minute mark, 6-minute mark, and then have him come back. And then that's why we saw first quarter JB become a thing because Jaylen Brown played the whole first quarter and just go ballistic, right? So it looks like, or hopefully this is a thing of the future, the quick adaptation to say, okay, let me have Tatum go for the first quarter and let Brown come with the second unit. And what do you know? The man had 15 and 5 in the first quarter. And I'm like, oh, it's amazing what happens when you let him set the tone, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you, Joe. But more importantly, thank you, Steve Kerr. That won't be the last time you hear that tonight. But thank you, Steve
Sure,
Kerr,
Steve Kerr
Joe.
did something. He might have done it on purpose. He might be a good enough coach that he did it on purpose to try and motivate Jayson Tatum. He did something to him. He broke his brain in a
Yeah,
good way.
I'm
In
I'm
a good
I'm
way.
I'm
I
grateful.
agree with you. I agree with you totally. Because the thing for me is like I think that there's a layer now. The way that they're playing at such a high level, I think there's a layer of the game that Jayson Tatum exists in and can dominate, and I think there's a layer of the game that Jaylen Brown can exist in and dominate, and I think that they both know that too. And I think that they can feed off each other. I like when they're on the court at the same time defensively in key moments nowadays. But I will say, like, if not to jump ahead, I know that one of your questions is going to be, should JB be shooting for first team all defense this year? And like, if I was really handing out like delayed goal setting things, I would be telling Jayson Tatum he should be trying to be the league MVP. I would be. I mean, I don't think this is ridiculous to say. To be quite honest with you, I think he should be telling Jayson Tatum he should be the league MVP. I think that you should be telling Jaylen Brown that he should be first team All NBA and first team All Defensive. I think that you should be encouraging guys like Kristaps, like Drew Holiday, to be getting on all defensive teams, or in Kristaps' case, at least an All NBA team, just play enough to like qualify for it. I want to set like a look how many motherfuckers they have on these superlative lists record with this team this year. And the way you do that is you just keep winning shitloads of games, which big market tease, I'm going to predict 82-0 again.
Oh man. Well, no, I mean, listen, we can stay right there with JB, right? Because obviously that's what I want to get into next. Once again, they combined for 60 last night, and when that happens, most likely you're not beating him, right? And so, he comes in with 23, but also, like I said, I was more focused on what he was doing, defensively. So I do think this is a year that he gets the first team defense. Now, yes, it was obvious that things were not going in his favor. NBA, they played him 3 times. And once again, I said this when they won it, but I do think that led to him winning the conference finals MVP and finals MVP. Even
Well
though
deserved, by the way.
well deserved. But I'm saying, like, they made sure they was like, look, we could not snub him 5 times. Like, that could not happen. So I'm glad that they made up for that to an extent. But yeah, I seen there was like still like early in the third where he, Brunson was going for like his normal drive, and JB shot the gap, and like basically it was like taking candy from a baby. And I was like, this is like, it should not be this easy. like that's I'm like, this is not normal. And I think sometimes we get phased and like, yo, like, is this really happening? It's like, yeah, like I get to watch this,
Yeah.
82
Yeah, I
games
feel that. I
a
do.
year, potentially 100, and then they get to the finals. So like it's unbelievable to see where he's grown, but like I said, to me, first team defense should be something that should be on the horizon. He picked up guys full court yesterday, which
Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen from game one.
I saw that a couple of times. I yelled that at my television. I was like, "Pick their best player up full court." That's what I like to see. I know exactly the first sequence you're talking about where he caught him kind of near the sideline, right? He picked him up kind of full court
Exactly.
and he picked him up from the sideline. I was like, "They're not scoring on this drive. Like it's not happening." So yeah, I mean, I just really appreciated the energy, the tone setting, veteran moves across the board from everybody, that everybody had the kind of game that they should have. I had a couple of, I can't fucking believe we have Drew Holiday moments, like a couple of just like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that we have this guy also. Looking at Porzingis in a suit, I'm like, get your shit together, buddy. And we might win 75 fucking games. Guy can play for 65 of them. So, I don't know. I mean, the fucking roster is insane. Winning the finals was like not that hard. People are mad because it wasn't that hard for us. That's the thing. Like people are
Yeah.
like pissed because we kind of walked everybody. And there
Mhm.
was some good storylines brewing in the West and Dallas and Kyrie and this. And we were like, no. And we didn't let any of that noise in either. We didn't let any of that Kyrie noise in. We just fucked him up. So it
Mhm.
seems like we're just able to do that to everyone now.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
see any red flags in the performance yesterday at all.
right. Well, the only thing, and once again, this was just towards the end of the game, but I was like, I didn't love them hunting the 30 or 3. I get why they were doing it. Obviously, you want to break the record, and the fans were pissed. It was like 1-4-3, 1-4-3. So I mean, like I said, I didn't love that, but once again, I just felt like it should have happened in the flow of the offense. Shout out to Jeff T's podcast, Club 520. He and I'm only bringing this up because I thought this shit was hilarious. He was talking. He had called Jordan Walsh "Baby Charlie Villanueva," and I lost it. Like I was like, wow. I was like, that's
He does look a lot like him.
he does. I was like, yeah. I was like, he was like, yeah. Baby Charlie V should have been out there shooting them 3. He should have been going to the cup. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, oh my god. So it was only a matter of time before someone on the show called him, Charlie Villanueva 2.0 because he does look just like him. So, but that was that was comedy. But yeah, but I like I said, they did a phenomenal job, last night. Like I said, it's not like I said, there's nothing to speak about in a negative manner. And like I say, I want to get into the first few games of it, right? So they got Washington on the 24th, which is a Thursday. They got Detroit on Saturday, Milwaukee Monday. I look forward to that one. And then Indiana on I think next Wednesday. So just, what I mean, obviously you did have to like 29-3, like I said earlier, is not super sustainable, but just what do you want? I think they could go 5-0 in this stretch, honestly.
Yeah.
But like it's just a matter to me, like just what do you want to see them working on? What do you want to see them sustain in next week?
In those next few matchups, I mean, I think Washington, Detroit, and Indiana should be walks, but
Mhm.
Milwaukee, I'm interested in Milwaukee, to be honest with you. I don't know if anyone knows who our biggest rivals in the East are going to be. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of people probably said the Knicks. And if it's going to be the Knicks, they're going to really have to have some come to Jesus moments over
Mhm.
there in MSG because man, oh man, not today, not last night. So I'm interested in looking at Milwaukee. My initial read on them is that they have a lot of problems that I don't think that they fixed in the offseason. And because I think the main problem is that like Damian Lillard is a huge defensive liability for how they're going to need to play basketball. The combinations aren't working in any sort of meaningful way, and everybody's getting older. So is it going to be them? I don't know. A lot of people would maybe guess the 76ers.
Mhm.
Joel Embiid's not playing back to backs this year. Like, I mean, he went crazy for the Olympic team, and then, you know,
Yeah, I don't understand his logic. And then, now he's under investigation.
tell him to stop
Um,
saying shit.
no, right. But it's just like, but also it's on Philly. And I get it, right? He's becoming the mellow of this era where it's like,
Ah, wow,
I get
harsh.
well, I mean, it's harsh, but it's reality, right? Like when you know that your only chance of winning is through the Olympics, you're gonna find a way to get there because you want to be around other great players. You want to have a chance to win for your country. I get that once again, which is a phenomenal honor. So I don't want to downplay it, but ultimately, because players of that caliber get judged by not just gold medals, but at least even getting to the finals, maybe getting winning a championship or two, you get looked at differently career wise. So I just don't know what the mindset is. Like I said, between him and Kawhi, right? Like I think that, those are two guys that are super talented. And obviously, we look at Kawhi differently because he's won twice and he was a finals MVP. To me, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. To me, all the stuff that's happening doesn't happen if he doesn't leave Toronto. I firmly believe I get it. He wanted to go home. He wanted to be closer to his family. I get that, right? He's had a very crazy family dynamic for those who don't know his full story. So you can look that up. But I just think to me, basketball wise, it makes sense for him to stay in Toronto with Siakam, with Anunoby, with Lowry, and just kind of see what they can do. I don't think they would have went back to back, but they definitely would have been in contention, every year of his stay there. But it is what it is. But on my end, like I said, I think they go 5-0. Like just like you said, I'm interested in seeing what they do against Milwaukee. I know Chris Middleton's going to be out, but Dame and Giannis should be there, so that's more than enough to see how you fare against them because we really didn't see it like that last year, especially in the playoffs. So yeah, but yeah, listen, they're off to a great start. I didn't want to go too far into this because I said we're going to get into some football, but yeah, Celtics off to a great start, man. And I just say to the NBA, watch out. Because, in the words of the Fugees, ready or not, here I come. Can't hide. Gonna find you. Like, it's about to be curtains. So just once again, we say thank you, Steve Kerr, because you've created a monster. And it's just I cannot wait for November 6th. Cannot wait. Like it's going to be amazing. Like I wish I had enough money to fly you just to bring you over here to see the game and then just come back. Because it's gonna be a phenomenal atmosphere that day. It's gonna be great. So can't wait. But to something that's not that phenomenal. My New England Patriots, man. I mean, listen, the tides have turned dramatically. And I think that each week that we've talked about them, it has progressively gotten worse. So not just on the field, but also off the field. So they lost to Jacksonville 32-16 out in London. Drake Maye, who was the third overall pick, has continued to show promise. So just looking at what he did the week before, so the week before against Houston, He was 20 of 33, 243, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, fumble loss. This week against Jacksonville, he was, I forget the numbers off the top of my head.
26 of 37,
It's
276,
276, and then 2 touchdowns.
230s.
So, yeah, 2 touchdowns, right? So just, from last week, this week, just where do you see his growth? Where do you see him going forward?
I mean, despite the loss, I think Drake Maye played good in both games, and I think he played
Yeah.
better in the Jacksonville game, quite frankly. I don't
Yes.
think I mean,
Mhm.
I think your defensive linemen were like blocking sleds out there. I think your offensive linemen couldn't create a lane for someone to run in worth a fucking shit.
Mhm.
I think the linebackers couldn't like tackle effectively. There was a lot of missed tackles. Drake Maye, I thought, to me, the stats are a little bit of a step back, a tiny, slight step back from his debut. But in a game going that badly, to still be a bright spot, I think is
Mhm.
impressive.
Right.
I think he might be a pretty decent QB, right? To be totally honest with you, he completed half his under pressure throws and one of them for a touchdown. I think that says a lot about. I mean, a rookie QB with a ton of fucking pressure in his face. I don't know
Mhm.
if I've seen that go well that many times, to be honest. And it went all right for him. I mean, not
Right.
not amazing. He wasn't out there like prime Russell Wilson, just like dodging two guys and making the play. Like, all right, there's no point in blitzing him. But I thought he performed pretty well if you look at those numbers.
Mhm.
Behind the line, 10 out of 10 for 57 yards and a touchdown, right? So with time, with efficient play calling, with good moments, he can make plays happen, but also under pressure. 25 yards, or sorry, 20 yards plus downfield, um, 3 for 5 for 87, right?
Mhm.
So, you're looking at these sort of key numbers in a game where the fucking world is falling apart around you, right? And you're losing to one of the worst teams in the NFL, and you're in London and there's a lot of eyeballs on it despite like the different time or whatever. It's still, because it's the international game, a lot of people watch it. And he's still making some pretty grown-up throws and not getting too rattled and using his physicality. He only had 18 rushing yards, but he used his physicality in the pocket. It's it was sort of what I was prepared to do for Caleb if the Bears season wasn't going according to plan. It was just gonna be to watch his mechanics, watch his
Mhm.
ability to sort of try to keep calm, try to keep the O-line with him, try to keep the team with him, see the mechanics of the throws. Is he making the right throws at the right times? There's ways to outperform your own shitty team and win games. He didn't do that. That would have been asking a lot of a rookie, but I don't know, I still saw a lot that I like. I think a really bright spot at that position is more than a lot of teams have, man.
Yeah, no, that I think that's spot on. I think that he definitely improved from the Texas game to Jacksonville. Um, the Texans had done pretty well against quarterbacks all year that they played against. So he had one of the better performances against them so far this season. So I don't want to take that lightly. But yeah, um, I mean, he came close to making some mistakes Sunday. So don't get me wrong, but the stat sheet won't show that. So um,
But
so
again,
that's
I mean, he's
right. He's
we're basically in week 2 of his NFL career.
right, exactly. So
So
I'm like,
like
I'm totally fine.
yeah.
Right, about to say, but didn't lose any fumbles. Didn't lose a fumble. He was a strip sack. So it's like that. Once again, that's the
The stuff that
improvement.
happens to rookies, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's like for him to make the reads that he's making. Shout out to Chase Daniel. Shout out to Dan Orlovsky as well, who they've given great breakdowns on how Drake Maye reads certain offenses. I mean, certain defenses, and is finding, the hot route, which is basically, the out route. So whether that's a receiver running across the field on a cross route, whether it's a running back running out to the flat, he's finding those guys. So once again, it is okay at times to be a check down Charlie, because that saves you from turning the ball over. And instead of it being 3rd and 9, you're now with a 3rd and 4. Fine. Totally get that. But yeah, like I said, overall pleased with him. I think that he does well, going into this week as well. We'll speak about that, later on. But I want to shift gears to the coach because,
Yeah.
you know,
Positive section over.
yeah, look at, I mean, there's been so much that's going on from when, Mayo got hired to now. Obviously, just a quick backstory. He's essentially been the heir apparent to Bill really the last 5 seasons. He had a chance to go to Carolina, Robert Kraft had, pleaded for him not to go, brought him back, whatever, made him the first African-American head coach in Patriot history. So yes, in that regard, great. He made history. Since that week 1 win, they have lost 6 in a row. The comments are flying from the team. The comments are flying from the media. The comments are flying from
Oh, he needs to get a handle on that stuff.
from everywhere. Yeah. So that's what I want to get into. So just, do you think he's essentially lost the locker room? And then just, what are your thoughts on the report saying that it's not a guarantee that he's here beyond this year?
I mean, I saw a rumor that he was going to get fired this week.
Yeah.
I don't, dude, I don't know.
Crazy.
I mean,
That's okay.
I wouldn't do that personally. I've heard all manner of opinions on this. So when that happens, speculation. I've heard all manner of speculation on this, right, over the last week. I'm just plugged into Boston media as much as I'm a Bears fan. The Boston media thing is still just like sort of intrinsically in my algorithm, right? I've heard we're in for 3 years of Mayo, and there's nothing anyone can do about that. It's going to be terrible. This is what's going to happen. And I've heard he's getting fired this week. So, I bet this is all just speculation. I don't think anyone has any cold hard facts, especially, say what you will about the organization. Now they've always been a pretty tight ship as far as things getting out there of any real consequence. Now, in saying that, Mayo seems to have a really big learning curve with how to handle the media. To come out and say we just have a soft team. This is a team full of soft guys. To then have Belichick, I mean, I don't think this is doing them any favors to have Belichick on fucking McAfee every week, just looking over their shoulder, being like, well, my defense was the best defense on the run in the NFL. And it's not even a good impression of him, because if I was to do an impression of him, the fucking listeners would fall asleep. So I don't know who looked at that guy and was like, we need to get that personality on every podcast. But sure, do you, I guess. It can't be helpful for him, and I do feel for him in that way. But man, some of those decisions, we need to start with the media stuff. You can't come out and call them a soft football team and then backtrack. You can't.
Right.
You just can't. I mean,
Right.
there's a way to coach like that, and you got if you want to be a hard nosed coach, be a hard nosed coach. If you act like that, and then they can smell blood, then you start to, as you said, potentially lose the locker room. Now, I don't know what your feelings on if he's lost the locker room or not. I know we are just speculating, but every time I've ever seen a coach act like this, the answer retrospectively on if they've lost the locker room is yes. So it seems like, yeah, it seems like maybe they've just sort of, I mean, not as bad as the Saints coach. What's his name? Dennis
Allen.
Allen. They were giving up on him on the field, right? So it could be worse. They were on the field going like, what are we doing? Like looking over and being like, what's going on? They have lost all respect for him. I'm surprised to see it happen this early, considering his pedigree, his name, what he means to that organization. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the thing is like he tried to build a hard-nosed defensive culture from the ground up, and it seems like the whole defense has quit on him. I don't know about the offense. The defense has.
but this is why, and you guys got on me about this to an extent, more
I
so.
never get on you, Ray. I never do. I always think that you're right.
I'm
just trying to generate content.
You didn't rag on me, but I'm saying like you wanted me to have a different perspective. But this is stuff like this is why I felt like this is not the beginning of the rebuild, because regardless of saying that, oh, Bill's gone, Brady's gone, was Mayo not in the building the last 5 years? Was DeMarcus Cousins in the building the last 5 years? Yes. So when you still have guys that were a part of that foolishness, right? And then they're trying to implement some things that's new, but also still trying to hold on to what he did without having the cachet of what he does. Of course, it was going to go crazy. So that's another reason why like this is not year one, because this is a continuation of what's been going on the last few years, with the exception of 2021. So if you're gonna clean house for real, get rid of everybody.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had this conversation, I think, in the preview, or
Yeah.
maybe it was week one when I came on the week one Pat's show.
Yeah.
And
Get rid
I
of
think I said something along the lines of like, well, I mean, it's all new stuff there, like this, that, and the other. Like they have, they're moving out all the furniture from Belichick's office, and now it's Mayo's office. And you said something along the lines of like, yeah, but they're only moving it from down the fucking hall. It's like if you're gonna come in and build a culture, you're saying, and I think I understand what you're saying now, sort of watching this Pats team sort of implode, whatever. and you're just going to have a more insightful perspective on it than me because it's not my team, right?
Yeah.
You're saying we should have given up on the Patriot way when we gave up on Bill,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
didn't.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
So you're saying because it was so successful and because of how much we all bought into,
Mm-hmm.
that's a system in New England. You plug
Yeah.
guys in, it's a system. You do this, you do that. And how
Mhm.
much everybody thought if you just plugged anyone in because of the Matt Castle season to a certain extent, because of what Jimmy Garoppolo was able to do one or two times, people thought, oh, you can just plug anybody in there. Then Tom Brady's the system QB. Well, it turns out,
Yeah.
no, he was, the GOAT. And the Patriot way did work for a while, but that doesn't mean that it's not great. It just means that football moves on.
Right. But it's the same
The
thing.
Patriot way really has not involved a modern offense since modern offenses became a thing. And
Right.
I think that's a big
Yeah.
part of
Exactly. So it's just like, the thing is, you needed an offensive minded coach, and you never got
Yeah,
that.
you did. You did.
So you can't.
Would you not take Vrabel like this week though?
Well, no, of course, a lot of people wanted Vrabel. Before
That seemed like a no-brainer to me, to be honest.
Well, yes, but the thing is with Vrabel, because it'd have been different to an extent only because he was just a player. He wasn't a part of the coaching tree. So it's
Yeah, but then he changed the culture then, right?
right. Exactly. But that's the
Vrabel
thing.
wasn't doing Patriot culture down it took all the way through down in Tennessee. He was doing Mike Vrabel culture, if you ask me.
Right.
He was
But
like a
what-
prototypical Dan Campbell down there. He was doing,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
almost achieved that,
exactly,
but not
exactly.
quite,
Yep. No,
So-
totally agree. So, and that's the thing. So it's like, for me, I'm not in the business of like, yo, let's go to year 3 or year 4 to see where we are. And I think about situations in the NFL. I think about Nick Saban when he got to the NFL, how bad
Yeah.
that was. I think about Bobby Petrino, who literally took the midnight train to Georgia. He got up out of there.
You remember the Super Bowl that worked last night sang? Was it halftime? She did the halftime show.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to her backstage?
No.
She walked off stage and someone was like, Gladys, do you want to stick around and see the rest of the game? And she said, I can't. I'm leaving on the midnight train to Georgia.
Love that.
Sorry. Continue.
Love that. But yeah, so I'm just like like that. So there's instances where I think about Jim Mora Jr. Not senior, but junior. Yeah, junior. Jim Mora Jr. Another one. Like there's cases in the NFL where it just doesn't work, and that's okay. Like you don't need 20 to 25 games to figure out that is
It
not.
couldn't be more okay for you guys right now. If you make the right decision over the course of the next
Mhm.
9 months, right? If you over the next 9 months you do all the right things, you're in
Mhm.
great shape. You take the 2 or 3, right? If you either have Carolina, I'd say probably Carolina is going to be probably ahead of you, right? Lose out, get the number
Mhm.
2, take that tackle that you want, right? Now you
Mhm.
have your franchise QB and a guy who can protect his blind side.
Right.
Wow. Guess what? You have something that, I don't know, roughly 13 other teams don't have. Like right there, right off the bat.
Mhm.
You switch out the coaching staff, you do what you want to do, which is fully clean house, fully change cultures,
Mhm.
fully change cultures. Bring in a guy. You want Ben Johnson? You don't really want to play
I mean,
college.
I would love Ben. I'm aggressive. I don't think that he's going to leave Detroit, but just for hypothetically speaking, yeah, if Ben Johnson was available, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Heartbeat.
Okay. So say you get him or say you get somebody that like emerges over the course of this season doing good stuff in some sort of coaching tree, right? As long as you've made the decision to clean house, you're good, right? Because you have Drake Maye, you potentially have a blindside blocker for him for 11 years. You have decent guys on defense already that you could lock up, Christian Gonzalez, et cetera, et cetera. And you have the most cap space. You have the most cap space. Your footballing future is not decided
Right.
until you know who they're giving the keys to the treasure chest that the New England Patriots have. That's what it's going to be. If I think you're just saying, and I think Mike's saying it shouldn't be this regime. You guys, I mean, you tell me your instincts are going to be more honed on this stuff.
I mean, like I said, Mike's hell bent on it being year 1 of the rebuild, but I vehemently disagree about that. I do. I'm sorry.
But Mike was saying over the weekend, he might be bad. So maybe it's time to, but you have the luxury of calling this a tank year. You know, you could look back on it and be like, wow, Kraft's a fucking genius. He promised Mayo the job, knew Mayo was going to fuck it up, got this pick, installed Johnny Coconuts as the
No, wait,
GM, you know, whatever.
but
And
then
then bang, you have such a springboard right now.
yeah.
You could be the Texans.
On the flip side of that, though, and I said this a few weeks ago, because you know, we talked about the whole black coach thing. If he's able, or if he desires another job at some point, he looks to move on. This will always be a stamp against him, always, and that's the unfortunate part. I think about Jim Caldwell, who did well in Detroit and got phased out.
No, it's true.
Well, your guy Lovie Smith, like Steve Wilkes in Arizona.
I think
Tom
the guy with the
Bowles.
light. I was just gonna say, I think the lightning rod guy this year is Todd Bowles. Every time the camera cuts to him, every time the camera cuts to Todd Bowles, I feel like it's being wielded by a guy in a MAGA hat. I'm like, dude, your angle is condescending, bro. Like, stop trying to tell Bowles like that.
Something else to give. So I'm just like, I don't want him to be exiled in that way. So that's a part of it too. But also at the same time, you know, I just want to see the team improve, and they haven't improved since week 1 at all, except for them making the decision to get Jacoby Brissett up out of there.
And the quarterback play, I mean, the quarterback play has improved, and like that's the big thing. You know, Drake Maye did 16 things that I never once saw Mac Jones able to do, and I just think that that's such a big upside. For
I mean, running for a first down consistently if he needed to, you know,
making the right plays, dude. Just
but just certain throws, like the throw to Booty, the throw to Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry looks like a beast out there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, Hunter Henry was good, and he was good in LA. He was just, like I said, it was still San Diego when he was there, but he was good in LA. So it's just like, bro, like to get him back to where he was is great. Austin Hooper blows, so it is what it is.
Yeah, but you got that Douglas. He's pretty.
Pop is good. So
if Martin is legit, he just needs to get a little experience under his belt. Stop coughing the fucking football up. Right.
So I don't have the same amount of patience, so I'm already out. Because up here it reminds me of Nikhil Harry 2.0, and I can't.
I don't know.
I can't.
He's got a lot more physicality than Nikhil Harry had.
But I'm just like, bro, like you can't say I got the best hands in the league, and you drop more calls than a cell phone. It's no. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a skill. It's an underrated skill. It's not
literally Drake Maye is literally hitting him. For those just watching on the YouTube version, he's listen to the audio because you can't see what I'm doing with my hands. But he's literally throwing it. He's trying to catch it in his hands every time, and it literally goes in and out. And I'm not talking about a California burger. What the fuck?
I know.
I'm upset, Dave, and I need him. I need him to be better. I think he can be better, but I want to see if Javon Baker could do something. I want to see if Kendrick Bourne could get back to what he was before he got hurt. So there's a lot of question marks still on there. And yes, I get that the team is not going to be a double-digit win team. I've given up on that. But
you want to pick him. You want to pick him.
You should not be. But the goal is you should be looking to go lose 12, 13 times either. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just in between on that because I'm just like, man, like it's always something. But
can I say something else on the? Can I say something on the black coaches thing? Yep. Since we've been talking about that, I think you fully radicalized me because I was just delving deep into the internet comments section after Caleb started playing good football, right? And I was just thinking to myself, his level of scrutiny over like if you're really gonna have the balls to just start talking shit about a QB after 2 weeks of playing in the NFL. But you gave Trevor Lawrence 2 fucking years, right? Like I was fully radicalized. Like after we beat the Jags, I was like, every single person needs to take a long look in the mirror because you gave that dude every fucking chance. Captain fucking long hair down in the bayou, white as the fucking day is long, and you were on my guy 2 fucking games in. Like, first of all, Caleb's talent level and how he was being touted up here. pretty high for Trevor Lawrence, but not the way they were talking about Caleb Williams, right? So I get it. Like, I understand that the scrutiny is what it is. I fully believe anytime people say there's intrinsic bias deeply baked into the NFL. I believed
Mhm.
it before. Now that like it's one of my guys, now that it's one of my guys, now I saw it happen to one of my guys. I'm like, I can't fuck you guys. Fuck everybody.
Yep.
Legitimately. Because they gave that boy in fucking Jacksonville 2 seasons and they're still holding out for him. They're still holding candlelight vigils for that dude. It's a bust. I'm sorry. It's over. That's done. 2 games? 2 games? And then I mean, people are still salty, you know? So, yeah, I mean, we know this in all professions. If you're black, you gotta be twice as good, 3 times as good, whatever it is. That's fine. I think I can watch Caleb Williams do that. But in regards to the black coaches thing, I think you're well within your rights to, like, want a change on your own team because you want the best for your team, but
Right.
also recognize that, like, you've been saying that on this podcast for
Mhm.
years now at this point where it's like, it sucks. I don't think he's good enough, but damn, like, I still don't think they get a fucking chance. I don't think they get a fucking Ice Cube's chance in hell half the fucking time. And you're right. We've seen it. There's just too many hard cut examples of how this NASCAR has leaked into this fucking league, you know, and I hate it.
Yeah.
So yes,
Like,
I'm with you on that.
yeah. And that's, I mean, just the last one of this part, I want to touch a little bit more on Bill before we get into the weekly picks, but it's really wild to me that, like I said, it fell out of favor this quickly, right? You know, it's clear that he wants to be a player coach, right? Clearly, right? He wants to be a player's coach, but they there has been no balance at all. There's been no balance of like, okay, we do this, we do that. And the thing is, after their week 1 win, it was like, oh, like, take him to the hill, take him to the hill. Well, guess what? It's now become we're taking him to the hill, so now we're taking him to the morgue because everyone's dead.
I mean,
Everyone's dead.
listen, I
I
said
mean,
to you, I said
it's
to you in the
ridiculous.
offseason, I said it to you in the offseason that the best thing that you could have happen to your team this year is not like a big playoff run or anything, but you might see some really good coaching, and that
Yep.
could like propel you to future success.
Nope.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
mean,
But
yeah,
the thing is, you're way
yeah,
less invested in your coach right now. You're way less in on him. Like, I mean, from a monetary standpoint, from a future standpoint, you already spent a fucking high draft pick on Drake May. Him looking good and Mayo not looking so good is a best case scenario.
yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the least, because even if they don't get rid of Mayo, and I'll say this when we watch the picks, the least you have to get rid of Alex Van Pelt. You have to.
Yeah, I
You
mean, that worked for Eberflus, right? You know, there was a certain
have
level
to.
of what we kind of saw from him where he was able to put the locker room together, be a good man coach, but maybe maybe his coordinators weren't good enough. So maybe there's a world where you back him up with some really good football minds. We've seen that work, really up and coming guys to make that offense tick. And I do agree that Van Pelt guy, I don't even know if they're listening to him anymore, but yeah, you guys are right in the offseason that he is not. He just should not have that job.
Yeah, it's once again he's inept and he doesn't
Well,
know.
I mean, the offense was working, and then he went in London, and then he went in and decided, "Let's fucking change a
Hey,
bunch of shit around."
it's great. What you say? You're up 10-0.
Yeah, no,
No, and you just say, you know what? Let's switch it up, and it's just like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah, just keep playing the way you're playing, dudes. The Jags,
yeah,
you're
it's
up.
just like, wait, you're both 1-5. They're reeling when they felt they were supposed to be better. So, but this is what it goes back to. It was oh, it's the rebuild. It's this, that. It's like, yo, you'll never get people to come here if they believe that you're breeding a losing culture. It's that plain and simple. So I'll stand on that forever. I don't care what Mike say. I don't care what any other Patriot fan say. If you continue to breed losing culture, no one's gonna come here as a free agent. And even guys that get drafted here are not gonna give their all because it's just like, well, shit. If you ain't doing X, Y, and Z, why I gotta do it? So you have to find a way to breed a winning culture. And that starts with the head coach. That starts in the weight room. It starts when you have certain meetings on a Saturday night, where you do the walkthroughs. Like that's every intricate detail has to be improved in order for other players to say, hey, you know what? They're not where they need to be, but I'm a missing piece to what we have to what they can be going forward. It's really that simple. But like I said, I'll get off my high horse on that one. 'Cause I'm just like, to me, it's
No, I
insane.
understand why. I understand how you feel.
It's ridiculous. So So yeah, let's just get into week 8 picks. Excuse me, if I can talk correctly. So we start on Amazon Prime. We got Minnesota. Your boy Sam Darnold killing it. Going into LA. So who we got there?
Oh, okay. It's the Thursday night game.
Yep.
I think that favors the Rams a little bit if we're
Yeah, they're it's basically a push because it's a 3-point underdogs.
yeah. I think that with the Rams with Cooper Kupp coming back, shop window Cooper Kupp, it sounds like they want him to put on a crazy game so they can trade him for a little bit more, maybe. That seems to be
Which
cooking
is
in the
wild.
rumor mill. It's pretty wild. I don't know. I guess it's a response game for the Vikings. So how it was a tough way to lose on Sunday. We'll find out a lot about their resiliency coming into this game. If Cooper Kupp and the Rams start slicing them up early, I don't know. We could be seeing the backslide I've been predicting for the Vikings. I just think that they're the softest team that we've seen so far, and this might be the beginning of the backslide. If I
Right.
got odds on it, I'd bet the Rams. If it was even, I'd probably take the Vikings.
Gotcha. Yeah,
You?
I'll go with the Vikings. I do think the slide at Chicago will come. Because like I said, I still can't believe that Darnold. I mean, I said to you that I knew that he'd play better. I didn't think it was gonna be this good.
Yeah.
So I'm not
No one did.
no, I know, but I'm saying like I know, I've been super high on, number 6 down at Tampa. I'm not as high on Darnold like him as I am with Baker. He's not in that category for me, but he did improve a great deal from where he was. So I do think they get another one because that LA team is not it's not good, but they're not good because they're not healthy. So I just feel like
Yeah.
they'll lose come Thursday night. So right back to what we were just talking about. We don't have to speak more about it because I don't think that we find a way to win this game. But the first game of the 1 o'clock slate is the New York Football Jets coming into Gillette Stadium, where we have not won a home game since week 7 of last year against the Buffalo Bills. So I'm not gonna go elaborate on this. The Jets are gonna win this game.
I'm taking the
Like,
Pats.
oh, I love that for you, but I just
The
there's no
Jets are
way.
the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL right now. I can't bet on them.
That's sure. Maybe the top 3, but we're in there with them.
Just want
Yeah,
to see another week of Aaron Rodgers trying to find someone to blame for his.
that would be awesome to see, but can you imagine the McAfee show Monday if they do lose? It's like, oh, we never lost to the fucking Jets when I was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's gonna be funny to an extent, but I don't have faith that they win a game until I see it on a Monday instead of day one. I'm out. Like I had already said 1-16 or 2-15, so because Jacksonville was the game to win, I thought they were gonna win, and they did. They got smoked. So I'm out until they actually win a game and actually do something at home. But good. So next, this is also something we don't have to elaborate on. Ravens versus Browns. Actually, no, I'm going to elaborate on this for a quick second before I let you go. Cleveland fans, and I don't know if that audio was real or not. Fuck y'all, honestly. And once again, we know what Deshaun Watson did off the field. We know what he did, what he allegedly did, whatever. Like we know what stuff is out there. So let me preface that. Let me put that out there. For someone tearing something on the field, and for people to vehemently cheer for that shit, it's fucked up. Regardless of what you think about him outside as a person on the field, I personally thought that was fucked up. I said to say Baltimore should win by 30, but well, I'm just like that. That's just how I'm at. But what are your thoughts on that?
I said the opposite on the PR show. I said if you're ever cheering a injury, if you're ever celebrating somebody getting hurt on a rival team or your own team because they haven't been playing good or whatever the fuck, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I'll make an exception in this one case because Deshaun Watson's such a massive piece of shit. And but also listen, I also said
I get, that's also one. You're not a fan of the team. That's one. Two, since the stuff has come out, had that not always, that's always been your stance. So I get, what I'm saying? I just think to me on the surface, I'm like, bro, like, how do you?
I don't think they were booing him because he's got
No, they
sexual
cheered. When
assault
they cheered,
allegations.
they was up and
No, I know, but they're not cheering his injury because he had sexual assault allegations, though. Because if he was throwing dots across the whole opening part of the season, they all would have forgot that real quick. They would have forgot that real quick. They're cheering because he got a guaranteed contract. He robbed the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
He came in there like a bank robber, and then he played the worst at the quarterback position in the whole league by a lot for 4 weeks.
So
So
Yeah. I mean,
You
what if
know?
the irony of that whole scenario was that he was 15 and 17 for 130 at that moment. He was actually playing the best he played in weeks, and then he got hurt. So I was like, damn, like
But that wasn't gonna
that's
last. That wasn't gonna last.
yeah, right. But I'm saying, but the fact that it was just that we just talk about the situational irony. It's like, damn, like you really you was playing your quote unquote best that you had played in a while, and then you go down like that. So I love what Jameis said though. I thought that's the most serious I've
I
ever
thought
seen.
he was a little fucking holier than thou, to be honest with you, and him and Matt both.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but I'm saying like as a if I'm in that locker room though, I love him sticking up for his teammate.
Sure,
That's what I'm saying.
sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, he's now the leader of that team, so that's good for them.
right. So I listen. I'll say this because I don't know if y'all said this last night. 'Cause I haven't watched every segment yet, but I will by tomorrow. If he what's the word? I reckon I would love to see him go full Joe Flacco and have them go on a run with him. I
No,
would
he'll
love.
throw 11 touchdowns and 11 interceptions over the course of the next 8 weeks. That's my prediction for his
Which
team.
that's been his career. He's been
Yeah,
Mr. 500. So
yeah, I think
not
that's
I would love to see them go on a run with him because I think the
sure.
Colts would be phenomenal.
Nick Chubb's back, you
Yeah,
know?
so Colts would be great. I
And
know they
Sean was the
lost.
worst thing that happened to them this year, so maybe. I'm not
Right.
counting it out.
Yeah. So exactly. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
That
But
being
either
said,
way,
the Ravens are gonna fucking dominate them.
yeah, dominate. They've been Derrick Henry has been everything they needed. Who knows? Things might have been different last year had he been there, but we'll get into that later on. Next, this is a lot of throw up games. And the Lions are 11-point favorites against Tennessee. So are you going
I
to go
might
to
take
Mike?
that. I might take
Points?
I might take the Lions there. I think they might smash Tennessee by 30, to be honest. Like, they've been running the score up on shitty defenses. I still hope that they trade for Max Crosby. That seems like
Mhm.
that rumor might be heating up. Sounds like they're gonna have to give a king's ransom to get him, but I don't know. I think you have to take into account that you just lost the statistically best edge rusher in the league. I think that was a big part of your success so far. Or obviously it is.
Right.
But you get Max Crosby in there and then you get Hutchinson back. Um, that's
Yeah.
just scary.
It could be what Chase and Bosa was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think I just think that could be scary. I think, I would mortgage my future to do that. To be honest, if I'm the Lions, I think they have the
Yeah,
roster.
agreed.
I think they lost a piece. I think it was really shitty that they lost a piece. I think they have the coolest, most interesting backfield of the last 20 years. I love the Sonic and Knuckles backfield. I've always been a big David Montgomery fan.
Mhm.
I'm liking them. I know they're a division, but I'm enjoying my division being the best division of football right now, to be honest with you, other than
Yeah.
losing the week and somehow being fourth on 4-2, but whatever. We'll see how it shakes out. But I've been enjoying the Lions. I've been high on them for a couple of years, as you know. I like a lot of their players. I like Amon-Ra. I like Jahmyr Gibbs.
Mhm.
I like David Montgomery, Monty. I like what they're doing over there, to be honest. And if they've learned from their mistakes from a coaching standpoint in situational awareness, I think they have the potential to come out of the NFC and meet the
Mhm.
probably Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm betting on the Lions every week this year, except
Yeah.
when they're playing Chicago, and that's just delusion. So I'm taking the Lions.
No, it's fandom, not it's fandom. So I'm going with Detroit as well. So cool. Next on the 1 plus slate. So
Loser
so
leave terror match, Falcons
I'm
Bucks.
no, that's coming out. I was about to say Baltimore Colts.
Oh, okay.
But no,
Back in the day.
the Indianapolis Colts going to Houston. I listen. The Colts being 4-3 is incredible at this moment. Flacco has done it again. I know that Anthony Richardson has come back, but for them to be 4-3 right now is wow. It's incredible. But either way, Houston should win this game. They're a better team, and they're at home, and I think I know they just signed Devin White coming over for Philly. So that's just someone that's an added, higher gun to that defense. So I think they're going to be even more formidable than they were in recent weeks. So I got Houston winning that one. So what about you?
But yeah, I'm mad at the Texans right now because they coughed up that game against the Packers. If you're gonna kick the field goal, run 3 times. If you're gonna go for the touchdown, throw 3 times with your stud QB, please, for the love of fucking God. Don't let the Packers fucking beat the Bears in a bye week somehow. Please don't let that happen. So yeah, I'm not super thrilled with the Texans right now. But that being said, I've been mad at the Colts since 2006, so they can get fucked. Yeah, Texans for sure. Big bounce back game for them. They're gonna need it.
No doubt. Well, that next game, this is a bounce back. Even though they won last week, Packers, Jags. You can pick. You can say that you'll pick the Jags. That's fine. I'm rocking
It's
with
the Packers, obviously.
It's like, yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, my Green Bay, it should be a fodder.
Yeah.
Next we got the Arizona going into Miami. I'm gonna go with Miami.
Tua back?
He's supposed to be, but
Guardian cap?
even if he's not back, I'm going with Miami over Arizona.
Interesting.
I don't trust Kyler at all. Like I liked him coming into the league, but he just don't do enough for me. So I'm
Good
riding
red
with.
zone efficiency numbers, though, once he actually gets down there and he hasn't made a mistake. He's pretty crazy efficient in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, he had D-Hop for a little bit. His best year, obviously, we haven't brought that up. But I
Might
mean,
be
that's
coming up on his best year now that he's going to fucking play for Patrick Mahomes.
yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
Won't say, but like he played. They gave him all those. They gave him D-Hop. They had,
Yeah,
I
he was
think,
pretty young then, though.
yeah,
I think
yeah. No, I'm
improves.
saying like, they invested in him to be that guy and take them to that level. But
My thing has just always been that he's fucking tiny. Like, I don't know if I could ever really get over that for my QB because there's just so many advantages to being over
Right.
6 feet tall from that position. So,
Yep. So that's the thing. It's just like you have to be you have to be Drew Brees, and he's not Drew Brees.
yeah.
And that's okay because not many were. But either way, I got Miami coming out on top.
I'll probably take the Cards in this one just because every single down I've seen the Dolphins play since Tua got hurt has been some of the worst offensive football I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's hard.
I thoroughly enjoy seeing them get beat. Because like I said,
Yeah.
someone that lived out there, and they talk very crazy about the Dolphins, and I'm just like, every bar is packed with the Dolphin shirts, and it's just like, yo, like y'all haven't won in 52 years, bro.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Y'all hold on to that undefeated, which I agree. I get it, right? At 74, whatever year it was, but I'm just like, y'all hold on to that. But I'm just like, okay, you had a top 10 quarterback in most minds for 15 years.
No, let's be clear. The best thing they ever did was feature heavily in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And that's basically their biggest claim to fame.
Woo, shout out to Jim Carrey. Yeah, facts.
Laces out, Dan. Laces out.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, Hard Rock will be actually filled with a lot of Cardinals jersey because they always get a lot of visiting fan bases in that stadium because everyone wants to come to Miami. So, but that's that. But yeah, either way, we'll see how that goes Sunday. But next is the game that you just talked about, Falcons, Buccaneers, who they gave us the best Thursday night game of the year. I'm actually going to go with the Falcons here. I think the Falcons beat them again.
I mean, unfortunately, the Bucks lost their top 2 wide receivers. So
right, that's too much to overcome.
Falcons. I mean, Falcons have looked pretty good this year. They're losing to good teams, kind of close, and they're beating the teams they should beat for the most part. So
right,
I'm not ready to give up on them.
All right, and then all of a sudden, next game, last game in the 1 o'clock slate, Cincinnati, Philadelphia. Who we got there?
I like the Bengals here. I really do. I think that it would be so Bengals to see them go 4-4, but on a streak, right? Where they're all of a sudden we have to take them seriously again. The offense is looking like the offense. The defense doesn't look as badly coordinated as it did. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
First few weeks, it's starting to sort of lock in. I'm not saying they have a good defense. I'm not saying that. Everybody relax. But I still think the Eagles are weird. They can bully big teams or shitty teams, but I don't know. I think the Bengals are gonna be up for this one. I might actually put money on the Bengals if I get a little odds.
Gotcha. I'm right with Cincinnati as well. I don't fully trust Philadelphia.
Yeah, no one does. Something weird going on.
But once again, this is what Cincinnati has done. So, we overreacted as Patriots fans because they beat them out there. This is what they do. So now they're starting to catch fire again. Chase is getting into full swing. Higgins is getting into full swing, and then Burrow's getting into full swing. So they'll have something to say about things, how it shakes up at the end, because they've had the last 5 years. So
except last year.
So, yeah, except for last year, obviously. But yeah, injured. Yeah. So when healthy, they're around. So cool. Cincinnati was there. So cool. Next, we have the Saints versus Chargers. Yeah,
I like the Chargers here. I think the Saints are a bad team. I think they've quit on their coach. I think that the Chargers are just starting to get a culture together. I think Harbaugh's a good coach. I think Herbert is a little banged up this year. That's the big sort of unfortunate reality for the Chargers. So I think that we're going to continue to try and sharpen their defense, build the culture. We got to give Harbaugh a year here, but I still think they're going to win the games they should win. I don't think they're going to have double-digit wins this year, but I think it'll be a respectable season just based on how they're playing. I don't think they're so bad. Need to get a couple more weapons in for Herbert. They'll get it figured out next 2 to 3 seasons. We'll really see them, but they're still going to beat the Saints.
Right. The next, so we had Buffalo versus Seattle. This is in Seattle. I'm gonna go with Seattle here. I think Seattle finds a way to win the game. So
Interesting. I mean, which Seahawks team shows up, right? I think that the 4-win Seahawks, if they show up against the Bills, I think they can finally find a way to be a good team and expose the Bills like good teams have this year, Ravens. But the Bills will beat you if you suck. Like, they'll come fuck you up if you suck. And if the Seahawks show up sucky, which just like last year, honestly, I know they had a coaching regime change, but they were trick or treat as fuck last year. And it looks like they're that same way again. Sometimes they show up and beat the Falcons like bad, and then sometimes they just show up and lay an egg. So depends on which Seahawks team shows up. If you're alive better, I would check the Seahawks out in the first 3 minutes. Just check out what they look like in the first 3 minutes. That's probably going to determine how that game is going to go. Yeah, I like the Seahawks here too. I think the Bills are going to get exposed as frauds at some point over the next few weeks, just based on how they played against really good teams. So, yeah, I like the Seahawks here too. I think that'd be a good bet.
Yeah, no, agreed. So next, so your squad going into Washington. So the floor is yours, sir.
I mean, there's a lot of context, right? So Jaden Daniels, second pick, Caleb Williams, first pick. Everyone knows all this stuff already. I hope Jaden Daniels plays. I hope he plays. I want to see the clash. I want to see what everybody's got. I think we have a much better defense than they do. I think if we knew Jaden Daniels was going to play, the thing I'd be telling everybody is the quarterbacks don't play against each other. We have to sort of remember that sometimes. So can he do against the Bears defense what he could do against lesser defenses? I don't know. I think the Bears defense is a lot better than most people think. We have some injuries in the secondary. So I'm waiting to hear on that. It's not Friday yet, so I don't know the final reports on if we're going to have Brisker in there, who I think is the hardest hitting safety in the NFL. I love that guy. Getting a Brisker jersey, just designing it now, just picking out the right fabrics and everything. But I decided Brisker this year just because he hits so fucking hard, and you got to love a great hard-hitting defensive back on the Bears. I mean, I know you do, Ray. I know you shout out Daniel Manning from time to time. We've gone down these roads before. Yeah, I hope he plays. I think Gordon is also questionable, our nickel quarterback, so we'll see. All that being said, I think we have a better defense than they do. If Caleb plays like he's been playing over the last couple of weeks, I'd be a little nervous if I was the Commanders. I know their offenses look really good, but I think the Bears are good, so I'm taking the Bears. And I won't be offended if you take the Commanders. I would understand why.
No, I mean, if I knew Jaden Daniels was healthy, I think I would have rolled with Washington. But to me, you're not telling me because what's the backup? Is it Mariota? No, Mariota's the backup.
Yes, Marcus Mariota, I think. Is it?
Yeah,
why is Marcus Mariota on my brain? If not,
yeah. I mean, regardless, Marcus Mariota, Marcus Jordan, whoever.
It is Marcus Mariota. Yes.
Okay. So, Chicago and 4. It's like I'm like, if he was healthy, I'd have felt a different way. But
love it.
I think that
Are you liking Caleb over the last few weeks? Didn't get to talk to you last week.
I think he's been playing great. Like I said, for you guys to be sitting.
I mean, you've been high on him since the start. So
exactly. So I think that he's going to come out.
It's possible both guys are good. That would be a good thing for the NFL.
Well, it's possible that all three will be good.
I agree. I agree. That would be unheard of, but crazy and true.
So
I'd be super into it. Dude, we need like another era of a bunch of good QBs. Not just one good guy.
Well, this is 20 years of the Big Ben, Rivers, and Eli draft. Yeah. So every 20 years you get that going.
But they weren't the first 3 guys though, were they?
Yeah, because Eli went 1, Rivers went 4.
Oh, right, but Eli went 1, but he got.
Well, first 3 quarterbacks, not in order though. Not in order. No, not in order.
But Eli then.
Eli, Phil, and then we call it, and then Roethlisberger went 11th. But
I mean to see to 1 and 2. Both being QBs and both guys if they both have great careers. I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened.
No, it would have been Manning and Ryan Leaf back in the day, but no.
But Ryan Leaf.
So. Yeah, but Ryan Leaf was just, so no. Nope. Yeah. Unfortunately, but
the game though, they flexed it to the later games, to the 4:00 games for you guys, the 1:00 games for us here on the West Coast. So I'm glad they did that. We're still up against the Chiefs, I think, for rating share, but I still think it's a lot of eyeballs of actual football fans are going to be on that game. So I'm excited to see it play out. Yeah, I really do hope Daniels plays, though. I do. I want to see the whole thing. I want to see the whole package. Yeah. This is a where are we season for the Bears. This isn't and I want to know where we're at. I want to take the whole litmus test. So, let's see it.
Right. Agreed. So next we have the Panthers versus Broncos. I mean, listen, it's Denver.
Yeah,
They
it's Denver. It's
but
annoying that Denver are gonna be 5-3, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's annoying.
and that's another thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a team that gave up 70 last year, and you're
Yeah.
telling me
I mean,
that
obviously Peyton's like a good coach. Like he obviously is a good coach.
he was the
Right?
coach last year when it happened, but it's
No,
just
but he
like
just got there. Like the,
no, right,
he's
but
let
it's
him.
just it's like it's like come on, like
Yeah.
it's get it
Somebody
out,
hand it to them. Somebody hand it to them, please. Like it's like
like
yeah,
please.
I was just saying this shit on the power rank because I'm on your side because as much you were low on Bo Nix coming in, and I was like, I don't know, I want to kind of see it. And I do find him like kind of entertaining because he has no like ability to like make smart plays for his body, which is just
Mhm.
like fun to watch as a football player. But I hate watching that fucking Broncos team because you're right. Like they just are gonna get into a 10-9 with the Jets, or they're gonna get handed like a 40 piece, right? And I'm waiting for that 40 piece to happen. So I like on the power ranking show, I don't even want to talk about them. I want to cross them off, but they keep being
You keep
above 500. It's
yeah,
really pissing me off.
we're staying around. So
Yeah, it's so annoying.
yeah,
I'm with
but
you
yes,
on that.
we
Yeah,
can
we're
wait
both
on.
praying for their downfall.
But wait, we get the return of Bryce Young. Maybe he comes out hungry. Who knows?
Oh, the
Who
Bears
knows?
have the Panthers second round pick, and it's looking mighty sweet with that announcement. It's like
No,
just
because at first I thought like he had like passed away from him the way they said it, like dude, like
they acted like he was
I
dead.
was like, I was like, wait, this. I said, y'all, they're saying this really casually. I'm like, oh, he hurt his hand. Got it, makes sense. I mean, ready. I mean, that still sucks, but it's just like I was like, I mean, it's like he passed away and
Yeah,
was back. So
I mean
cool.
it's
Oh, but
depressing.
I mean,
Definitely.
but I mean, once again, I'm not no Bryce Young fan, but just he did get too small. But I do hope that he comes out like swinging on Sunday. It may not be enough, but I do hope he comes out swinging. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a good story. But next, this won't be such a good story. This would be they will never, ever, ever beat Kansas City. So Kansas City's gonna smack the Raiders.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. They're not even gonna
Yeah,
try.
it's awful, awful. So that's that. We ain't gotta talk about that next. Yeah, so yeah, so, right. By the way, I love that move. Right,
Good move.
I think
It because really you're betting on it was the fact that he was in the Titans, not that it was he had fallen off a cliff.
yeah, but
Good
we
bet.
talked
It's good
a few
upside.
weeks ago. That
Yeah.
is where wide receivers' careers go
And
to die.
honestly, Kansas City is where wide receivers' careers go to get resurrected. So like perfect.
Pretty much.
Love
But
it.
honestly, even during the Trent Green era, and Chris is my boy to listen to the show. Chris, you can back me up in the comments when you hear this. During the Trent Green era, people didn't know about Eddie Kennison like that outside of Kansas City, but Eddie Kennison was a Pro Bowl caliber guy with Trent Green, and obviously everyone knew about the X Factor, aka Dante Hall. So their guy was Tony Gonzalez, right? Then later on, they had Dwayne Bowe, who became a Pro Bowler. So they've always found a way to get some guys that can ball out. They may not be for a long period of time, but they've done their thing. So yeah, but yeah,
It's giving me Odell Beckham to the Rams vibes.
yes,
That's
correct.
that's what
Yep,
it's giving.
yep,
So
absolutely,
we'll see.
absolutely.
I mean, I hope his knee doesn't explode
Stay healthy, keep
making
out the
plays in the fucking Super Bowl, but I mean, that was sad. But
yeah, fact.
he was looking like the MVP of the game. And, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, I think he might still just have one ride in him. He might have one last ride over the corral that left in him. And if Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball, we'll see, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, to me, he's always been in that Larry Fitzgerald type mode for me.
You throw that long?
No, I'm talking about just his talent wise. I'm saying like I don't
Oh,
think
I
he'll
don't
play as long as Larry did, but
this
I
guy.
think that
That's a tough question.
listen, and once again, he won't get looked at this way because he unfortunately didn't win it. But
Yeah, but that's what I was just about to say is like
no,
when I
okay,
think Larry Fitzgerald, I
he's
think of him making like corner catches, toe tapping it in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like
right. It's just
it's
like
hard.
listen, he's one of the best postseason performers of our generation. Talking about Larry Fitzgerald, it was unreal to see him do what he did at times, and he never wavered. That's why I was like, oh, he never won. I'm like, bro, like he got there with 90 years old Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
He got to the NFC Championship game with 85 years old Carson Palmer. Like,
Yeah, and he made plays in every playoff game he ever
I was
played.
like, I said, if you ever gave him like just a quarterback that could really play that was in their prime, I think he'd have been unreal. But that's another show for another day. But second to last Sunday night game. This would have been the marquee game in the 90s, 1995. The Cowboys going into Levi Stadium.
Been a marquee game this year. And Cowboys and the 49ers
Yeah,
was shit bad across the whole
and
season.
been much better themselves. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco though. I'm going
Same.
with yeah. So I don't think that Dallas finds a way to win. I know they've chucked it home, but I don't trust them winning out there and them putting in for the plays.
San Francisco are coming by their losses, honestly, right?
That offense is a joke. Talking about Dallas.
No, seriously. But San Francisco are coming by these losses, honestly. Their whole team's fucking fried. Their whole team's banged up. I mean, I know they got themselves in this position, like they're an already fragile team and made a bunch of blockbuster moves for fragile guys. But they're coming by those losses, honestly. Dallas has no fucking excuse. You know, they're just playing like ass. And the guy they give a giant fucking contract to is playing like ass. And he sucks in the red zone. He sucks at situational football. He can't run the offense consistently. This has been true for 3 years, and they gave him a bag. So, you know, I don't know. There's just something to be angry about for the Cowboys on their offensive side of the ball. And then they got a bunch of they had built a really cool defense, running really fast. Quinn had masterminded a really like speed, athletic, hard hitting defense, and then they brought in a guy that's going to run like a fucking soft zone. And it's just, you know, they deserve what they're getting, you know, at this point. So yeah, I'm going with the 49ers on good guy, bad guy, to be honest.
Yep. No, totally get that. So yeah, that should be a good one.
Ray, you're redeemed. Russell Wilson.
Yes,
You
sir.
finally good. And he's on the Steelers doing it. Looked like a
That part hurts. That part hurts, but
it was great. He looked like the last thing they needed. He looked like the last piece.
Yeah. But like I told somebody off the air, I said, what quarterback do you know could throw for over 3,000 yards, had 26 touchdowns, 8 picks, and we say he sucks? Like, what? Yeah, that's what happened last year. And I'm just like, what are we talking about?
There was a lot of bad situational football from him last year.
Sure. But I'm just saying, just on the surface, if anyone else, then that was a decent season. So
yeah, but you know, most people just judge fucking players based on their fantasy team. You know, they don't actually watch the games. So I'm with you on that.
He stabilized them. He made the reads that he needed to make, and there was
he ran Arthur Smith's offense.
Right.
I mean, I think Justin Fields, I said this on the other show, I think Justin Fields looked like a great player in an Arthur Smith offense. I think Russell Wilson looked like the guy they went and got to run the offense they had designed. Right. And I feel like I should have known that. And it was like, I feel kind of knowing that was going to happen.
It's quiet for Fields. It's quiet. It's not going to be unless
I was cheering for him, man, for obvious.
No, I mean we all were, but after what happened last week against the Jets, I was like, yeah, they not. He not.
It was kind of a ballsy move by Tomlin, though. Don't you think? Like, it was kind of high risk, high reward.
All along, though. I think that was all along. I think he was saying, you know,
it seems like that's the case.
Yeah,
because like Smith was like, can we put the guy in that I like design the offense around? Like, I think that's kind of what happened.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they were inclined to make sure that Fields got a shot, and that's why they made sure they signed him or traded for him the offseason. But
he handled it well, to be honest.
For sure. I think, but I also think that was also talked about behind the scenes.
Yes, he looked prepared.
Yeah, because guess what? That's what real coaches do. But
yeah, Tomlin is a real fucking coach. You see him. You see give Aaron Rodgers that like you try to get me on that 12-man, and like he had already called the timeout. It's like, I mean, I know Tomlin looks 26 still, and I know we all remember him as like the youngest coach to ever take over or whatever. But he's a veteran. He's never had a losing season, and the man is dangerous when he has the right team. He just is. Yep. And my favorite thing about Mike Tomlin, and I know you're not a huge fan of the Steelers, but I think you could be.
No, I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin as a coach, though.
Yeah, of course you are, right? Because he's a good fucking coach. And I think what I like the most about him is he is so unafraid to bring really great established football minds into his staff and still be the boss. You know, to just bring guys in, you know, and be like,
okay, so bam, and that's how we're gonna close on. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about with up here too, and we talked about it with Joe Mazzulla, right? Oh, the Sam Cassells, the Charles Lee.
Yep,
you got to bring in other people that can elevate you to the status that you can be there. It's within you, but other people are gonna bring it up. They had to elevate. Yep. So leaders raise up other leaders. Bam, that, and there's nothing else I need to say. But for DK Sizzle, I'm Rayshawn Buchanan. Until next time, we'll see you. Peace.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.